always said you didn't want us to write our own vows. I felt otherwise, but I kindly obliged with a wink and a smile. But it's been 5 years now since you walked down that aisle. Now we're having our first child. I think it's only fitting that I write and recite my own vows. Wow, how someone like me ended up with someone like you is besides me. You make up for my lacks and deficiencies. God is our foundation, so He knew we blend together perfectly. So He purposely infiltrated our self-proclaimed destinies, guiding you back here from Cali and keeping me from moving to NC. So it's plain to me that we were meant to be. Unlike Donnell Jones, Erica, I know with you is where I want to be. Together, forever, and always. Because our love has known of each other since always. Even before we met in Bosco's hallways, where you were persistently consistent in resisting my advances. Despite your many rejections, I somehow gave you 6 months of second chances. That's 6 months of lonely stanzas, 6 months of lonely staring on the blank slate of my canvas, often wondering about the probability of my chances, of me ever knowing what a true poetic portrait of romance is with you and me. But that was the past and this is the present. I now realize that he was just molding the mindset of the hopeless romantic you, softening the heart of the one scared of commitment, me. Because he knew that in our undeveloped state we were too negligent to see that God blessed the broken road that led you straight to me. And in polar matrimony, we dove into a mystery of uncertainty, but certainly I didn't think our first tests and challenges of marriage would come so soon, especially in Jamaica on our honeymoon when you got locked in the tiniest of all bathrooms. That was the start of a downward spiral because you were crippled by anxiety. Often wondering about the misfortunate possibilities like dying of a panic attack because you were unable to breathe. And unfortunately, I let my frustrations sometimes get the best of me. And you were already feeling guilty in your temporary state of vulnerability. And naturally, I'm a patient person, but I wasn't patient enough. I wasn't supportive enough. I wasn't praying enough. I didn't do enough. I had to get out of that me mentality and start thinking of us. Because although that was the first test of our marriage, it wasn't the last. We are not Noah and Allie, but we too experienced emotional tragedy. After all, this is pregnancy number 3, and although we rejoice happily, coping with multiple miscarriages isn't exactly easy, especially when you have people pressuring you like, when y'all gonna have a baby? Not knowing that we were having trouble carrying a seed. So we began to prepare ourselves to live happily, forever, broken together. Just you and me enjoying the warmth of each other's company. And then suddenly God blessed us with a full-term pregnancy. You see, our story isn't exactly perfect, but it was perfectly written, simply smitten from the start. The whole of what we do together is greater than the sum of our parts. And as sure as the blood that bleeds from my heart, I fell more in love with you when you pushed past the mark. I know we're not the fairy tale we both dreamed we'd be, but I still feel like I'm living a fantasy with the woman of my dreams. No tape measure, no ruler, no football field can measure your beauty. Your laugh is my favorite sound. Like Ed Sheeran, I'm just thinking out loud, reminiscing on the past and how it all led to now. You always said you didn't want us to write our own vows. I felt otherwise, but I kindly obliged with a wink and a smile. But it's been 5 years now since you walked down the aisle. Now we're having our first child. I think it's only fitting that I deliver to you my vows. I love you.